Oh my gosh, it's taken me absolutely years, but I figured out how to use my webcam. This is so cool. So I had this computer probably about 3 years ago because I got a virus on my main computer, which is the one that has Photoshop and the one that has I do all my videos on, and I got a virus on it, which meant that every time I clicked on the internet, lots and lots of boxes would pop up, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. I tried really hard to get rid of it, and I couldn't. So I ended up buying a new computer, spent about £300-400 on it. I used it for about 6 months, but it was a bit annoying because it didn't have Photoshop. So every time I needed to use Photoshop, I had to use my old computer, and every time I was making videos, I was using this one, which was very annoying because every time I needed to make a photograph, I'd have to make it on the other one and then use a USB to transfer onto this one. So it was a bit annoying. But yeah, after 6 months of not using the internet, I clicked on and realized that that virus had actually gone. So it was almost like I'd added a virus that told a group of people, the scammers or whatever they are, that I was online, and as soon as it would show up as being online, they would send me lots of junk, so I couldn't use the computer. But after not using it for 6 months, I think they'd registered me as someone who's thrown away the computer or got rid of it, so I was no longer on their system, which was good, which was very, very annoying. And it does make you wonder, if there's these people that think that this is completely fine to just bombard people with. It wasn't just one, it'd be like 30-40 boxes would just pop up, and it's just like, how can you sell, if you're trying to sell me all this junk that's popping up, why would I stay on the computer if you're going to send me 14 boxes every time I click on anything? So I don't understand what the point of that scam was. But anyway, as soon as that went away, I went back to my old computer and found that it didn't happen any longer, and therefore I didn't use this computer. But my Chromebook had it for 11 years. I can't believe I've had it for 11 years. I've never turned it off, but it's now starting to, I've got a little cord, and when the battery dies down, I plug it in, but it doesn't seem to charge up, and it just flashes on and off, and I don't know, sometimes I can get it to charge, sometimes I really can't, and it's just getting harder and harder. So I'm like, okay, I need to get a new Chromebook. But it didn't make sense to buy a new Chromebook when I got this sort of other computer that I bought 3 years ago. But I didn't like it because I bought it for video making, and they said that it had enough memory gigabytes for that and stuff. But my webcam was absolutely shit, and there had no color to it. I mean, this is not amazing, but I bought another webcam online for about £10, and it didn't actually work. You'd see it show up and try and use it, and it didn't actually work. And it turns out, actually I'm not going to be able to show it to you because as soon as I move it, you're not going to be able to see it. But basically, it turns out that there is like a hidden button on the top, and I don't know, I've never pressed that button. I didn't know it was a button. It doesn't look like a button. It just looks like part of the design. But yes, I couldn't figure out, so I was thinking I'm going to go to the shops and get another one, not from eBay. Go to the shops and show me how to use it. And I don't know, I just randomly thought, is this a button? And it turned out it was a button. And as soon as I did that, it started working again. So I'm like, oh, is that all it took? Anyway, took me 3 years, but I finally figured out how to work it. And it's really weird because I want to pick it up and show it to you, but I can't because it will. Anyway, and it's even got a light to it. Let's see, I don't know if that's going to make any difference. Oh, it's even got a personal light. It's a bit bright actually for the eye, but I'm kind of happy with it. Not an amazing quality, but it's probably about the same as my Chromebook, I think. And my hair looks a mess, but anyway, I am making this video just basically to see if it works and to see if it prints off. But yeah, I'm thinking my next page that I should make should be about the spirit and talking about the spirit, because man's interpretation of the Holy Spirit, my interpretation of the Holy Spirit, and I think my higher self's interpretation, I think they're all different, because my interpretation of the Spirit is just like, I don't actually know. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I was thinking yesterday, I was in the spa, and I was just thinking, I really want one of those necklaces and of that random tree thingy, and I was visualizing, fantasizing about telling people maybe on web chat, if they ask me what that pendant's for, I'm like, oh yeah, I believe it's a portal into heaven, so when you die, you have to just find one of these and you enter through it. And I would love to just portray this perception, even though I don't believe it's the truth. I'm so angry at people for just not giving a shit about me, or not being able to give a shit about me. For 11 years I've had to put up with so many people claim to know and love Christ, and yet if I tried to text them or say anything to them, they would delete my comments. They don't want anything to do with me, and I feel like I'm easily going to be able to take that anger and just say to everyone, oh yeah, that's just, and it just puts a seed in people's eyes. It puts a seed in people's mind that the only way to get into heaven is to walk through some sort of portal. And yeah, I don't know at what point people are going to realize any way they can get into the spiritual realm is to die. But yeah, I feel like people are just wanting that little, I don't know, evidence that there is life after death, and they want that evidence that there is something better in the future. I mean, there is on the timeline. I want to die. If I die, I'm going to become Lily. And okay, I'm not actually certain that Lily's going to have a much better life, because if she's going to come right at the end of the timeline, I'm assuming that the world is going to be near destruction by that, or near. I don't know, but I believe she's the last, going to be one of the last people alive on Earth. So I've got a feeling that the world is not going to be a very good, nice place back then, because that's going to be when the Earth is dying. But yeah, really, I want to get into the place where I made the timeline, if that's actually going to happen, or if I've already done it. Hence, I'm just going to fall asleep and wake up at the end. I don't care. I hate this world so much that I just want to move on and get away from here. So, but and then do a timeline somewhere else on a different planet. That's kind of what I want. And I'm confused because of this. I want to understand the spirit. I want to understand, like, I know I did not sense the spirit. Like, the spirit is where I'm seeing daily things. So I'd be like, oh, I really want that necklace. And then I'd watch this film about the Planet of the Apes. And I don't really like this because I'm not on the ape side. And, humans have evolved for a reason. And therefore to think that the world's just going to die and go back to being apes, that just sounds terrible. I mean, the good thing about watching that film is I can watch it and just be like, well, at least we're not that bad. At least humans are not as bad as these apes. But yeah, it's not a nice film. It wasn't a good film. I didn't enjoy it, but it was weird how they had this pendant, and it reminded me of what I was thinking about all day, which is getting this pendant and telling people, move maybe through web chats, and then later if there is some sort of game show, making it clear that it's just a random belief, might not be true. I might play it like that, like, yeah, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but just put a seed in people's thought that it might be. And then to see a film where they didn't even make a big deal out of this pendant. Like, it wasn't, you didn't know what it meant, but they had someone they had an ape dying, or being dead, and being burnt alive in front of this big symbol. And I that actually was another vision that I've had all day, which is there being some fake sacrifice with me lying down looking like something's happening, or there's people ritual around, and then some sort of symbol on a wall, and which would be, I'm guessing it should be the Jewish tree thing. I mean, to me that symbol means absolutely nothing. I like the pentagram and the upside down star and with the circle around it. I like it, but I associate that with witchcraft and magic and stuff like this. And well, because this whole thing is just nonsense. It's just about tricking people it's tricking fools. It's about tricking people. I think I'd rather use a symbol that I don't like, or don't understand, or don't connect with, and that Jewish tree that kind of reminds me of the Belle's mirror, where she looks into a mirror. It's kind of like the shape of that with a little handle, and so it kind of reminds me of that. So I like the idea of promoting maybe that as being the symbol. Why? Because if you really are connected to me, if you really do feel my energy, you wouldn't be attracted to that symbol, because that symbol means nothing to me. And therefore, if it means something to you, then I feel like either it's done, like I think Madonna might have promoted it to make me aware of it or something. I don't know. I feel like that there's some spiritual thing with the singer there. But yeah, if you have been, I don't know, worshipping or adoring this symbol, believing that this is how God made the universe or something. I mean, I think it sounds crazy. But yeah, I would like that. I like the idea of that, but the spirit is where I do things in my daily life, and somehow the spirit has connected the whole timeline and inspiring lots of people, and it's unclear whether it's my higher self who's done it or whether it's just people's spirit connecting with my spirit, and so I feel like I'm finding it hard to explain what the spirit is, because I myself don't actually know. Like, on one hand it feels like me, but on the other hand it doesn't. It feels far more annoying and far more cut off and far more careless, and like an annoying little thing that you just want to go away, like a fly that's buzzing around you and you just want to get rid of it but you can't. So that's how it feels. But I didn't know what about this spirit before I met Martin. It started when I met Martin, and I started noticing all the songs that I was clicking on seemed to be linking to the small conversations that we had, and it just everything I was clicking on reminded me of that, and I was like, this is weird, like, what the fuck is this? I didn't think I was God, I didn't think I was Christ. I thought I was going to get on Big Brother, and I really wanted that for like 8 years, so I thought that some spirit or some ghost was kind of telling me that something, I don't know, I couldn't understand and couldn't believe that it had anything to do with anything big. I just really wanted to get on that show, so I kind of linked it to some spirit telling me that, and it didn't make sense, because it never happened before. I'd never connected, like, all the songs are about love and relationships, and I'd never really had any love or relationship, so I didn't connect with any of the songs before that, and then it started then. And then in July it was just like a full bombardment, like an actual spirit had entered into me, but it was me, but it was not me. It knew more than I knew, and so yeah, I feel like there is a spirit that has dwelled in me, and it started, I would say, started from June 13th, because that was when I became fully aware of it. I wasn't really aware of it before that. I was kind of denying things. Oh, that's not the truth. That's weird. I don't know. I felt like maybe a film crew or something was following me, but that's how it felt. But I'm still very paranoid about what Martin, if Martin did anything. It felt like Martin was following me, or someone like that was following me at the beginning. But yeah, I didn't experience anything like this before that. So I feel like the spirit is something that came to me in 2013, and I'm hoping it's going to leave at some point and allow me to just live out the rest of my life. When people are talking about it to people, you know, I think it's important to say that it lives in me. But yeah, what you're going to say, I don't know. I mean, technically you could say a lot of things and I feel like it could be true, but I don't fully understand it, so I can't really say what's right and what's wrong. You know, I know my higher self is guiding me in certain ways, but the spirit doesn't. It seems different. It seems like, why would my higher self bother to do that? Why would my higher self bother to do this? Why is it, you know, when you see so many connections, like I was talking about that actor who looked like Yellow Wolf, and then like 2 days later I went to the cinema and saw that Ghostbuster film, and I was like, oh, there's that actor again. Like, I haven't seen that actor in like 2 years doing anything, or haven't watched him doing much, and then I realized that there's two actors that look very similar. You know, there was two actors, one which was from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the guy that was the Josh, I think they're both called Josh actually, and then the one in the Clueless. But there's two actors that were called Josh in their films, in Clueless and in Sabrina, and they look very similar. But it was weird how one of them was actually in Ghostbusters, which I watched a day later. But I just feel like my higher self wouldn't bother to do this. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't personally bother to do, but I feel like the spirit is something that I can't explain it, because it's really, really big, and it seems to be knowing what I do every single day, and not seem to be bothering that I'm getting very hurt by it, and it, I don't know, it's superly powerful, and it shapes and guides probably everyone, but how much of it is me, how much of it is is being, I don't know, I don't know. I would like to talk to people about what they think the Holy Spirit is. I think on one hand there's a separation, on the other hand it's a connection because it links to me, but it didn't do this before 2013. It's only started then. Maybe there was a couple of things when I was younger, you know, like Rainbow Bright, oh, she looks like me, and then Sabrina, oh, she looks like me too, or I want to be like her, and as I grew up, all the characters sort of grew with me. So I guess there was a type of spirit then, but it wasn't connecting with my daily life. Definitely wasn't connecting with my daily life or daily things, or, you know, if I find, oh, that's a nice interesting necklace, I want to wear it, and then I watch a film and that they're sort of promote about apes that I don't like and want to kill, and they're all wearing it, or some of them are wearing it, and it's just like, yeah, that's a weird link. But anyway, let's see if this video has worked.